With just one move, the magic stone went flying off the cliff like a roller coaster, making Rui furious as he thought about giving Kaio. Not only was he easily dodged, but he nearly fell too. Fortunately, Kaio Long pulled him back instinctively. Lucky, but his balance is poor. The duo just teamed up for a cliff dive, while Ling Po happened to witness the scene, but he seemed pretty chill, as if he was enjoying the view. The adventure of humans, ghosts, and dragons begins, concluding episode 1 of Ghost Bow. The girl's first palace visit was marred by a foul smell unfit for a royal palace. She sprinted towards the source of the stink, ready to confront it, when suddenly she heard a familiar voice like an old recording you can't get out of your head. Her friend who trekked her into the palace. She changed direction, found an old well, and heard increasingly desperate cries. A hand reached out from the well, only to realize it was too late. Everything felt like a scene from a bad soap opera. Despite desperately grasping a stone, she was dragged back by the evil spirit. When on the verge of giving up, a man fell from the sky like a superhero. The man's soul possessed her friend, yet the evil spirit persisted, unaware she did not need the dragon orb without adapting to a new body. Just a snap, she could make them disappear without a trace. But to her surprise, a new problem popped up. She didn't know how to perform CPR. When she saw Rui's sleeping face, she gasped, instantly feeling as tense as on a roller coaster. After over a decade of acquaintance, she never saw Rui as maternal. Luckily, Rui walks in, but she lacked courage, wanting to face the evil spirit alone. Water spirits are said to excel at mimicry, which she had never witnessed. She was determined to find out, but impulsively ignored any odd demands. Before acting, she must solve a small issue, get the king glasses, or held out her identity. Ever since she and Kaio Long fell off the cliff, the king had doubts about her identity, and gaining the trust of an eyeglass maker wasn't going to be easy. But if she wanted to stay in the palace to find Yingjia's soul, proving she was just an eyeglass maker was undoubtedly the most direct way to do it. What she didn't expect was that the king already had a pair of glasses crafted from techniques she didn't even know. Talk about a plot twist. To make matters worse, the lenses were made from her grandmother's magic stone. Suddenly, Rui's hair stood on end. Clearly, something big was happening. While she was thinking how she needed new glasses, it really became a headache, and she had to come up with all sorts of solutions. Otherwise, she couldn't stay, and finding Yingjia's soul for some clarity was out of the question. What a disaster. Well, since everything was in place, she could finally go mess with the evil spirit in the mirror. But first, she had to fill a whole bag with rice. Sounds like a chef's job. She placed 5 coins on top of the rice, folded some paper to put in the pot, and sealed the seams with dough. Now that's a real pro. A perfect capture cage was done. Then she slipped to the ancient well and noticed, like a ninja, a lost skill is set to revive. She chopped a bamboo for a pole, tied 3 white cloths at points. What an artist. To prevent the cloth from breaking, she even inserted peach wood into the rope and extended a long strip deep into the well. Now that's thorough. Lastly, she tied the white cloth around her waist for safety. She later decorated the cage with rice paper. What a considerate design. A complete set of lifting gear was finally ready, cunningly using a sickle to hook her feet. What a fascinating market scene. As she sang her cryptic verses, the pole suddenly twitched a few times. She got it. What an exciting sight. But the evil spirit was way stronger than she had thought, almost snapping the cloth several times. Definitely not a relaxing afternoon. As she finished the last line, the pole loosened. She rushed over, only to see the talisman vanish unexpectedly. Instead, she grabbed a strand of hair. She got it. Then as the camera panned, the evil spirit got stuck on the yellow cloth, unable to move. Meanwhile, another ritual was in progress, but the opponent wasn't blind. The tools were professional. The man's singing was sometimes high-pitched and sometimes melodious, sounding like he was competing in a music battle. At that time, she encountered a dilemma: language barrier. She could only watch the evil spirit's mouth move, understanding nothing. Just then, the bell rang, and they both looked into the distance only to see the evil spirit's face filled with terror. As if caught in an determined, she stated that if it didn't reveal Yingjia's whereabouts, it could forget about ever going back, like a missing colorful princess. The evil spirit hurriedly blurted that Yingjia had already been devoured by something called the 8-lead fish. How bizarre is that? Meanwhile, carefree Kaio Long also heard the bell and sensed trouble, rushing towards Rui in a hurry. But halfway there, she suddenly heard a whistle. With no choice, she opened her eyes and uttered the same name: the slave's 8-lead fish. At the same time, the peeking souls began to emerge, and when they stopped, the prince finally opened his eyes. What a dramatic plot. The girl rubbed her hands while chanting the names on the list through a makeshift arrangement. What a perfect scene. As she rubbed her hands faster, the prince began to squirm more, until the moment she stopped, he spat out a puddle of black water. Talk about growth. The black water seemed almost alive, quickly transforming into a human form. Turns out it was the name on the list, like a magic trick. However, As the girl waited patiently for the other to return, she saw Yingjie running away in a panic like a scene straight out of a drama. Without thinking much, she rushed forward, but before she could catch up, an overwhelming stench hit her so bizarre. She witnessed a truly horrifying scene without a doubt. That terrifying fog represented one of the strongest evil spirits, the eight-footed ghost. Just as Rui was about to shout, someone covered her mouth. It was the Kaiolong that had possessed Yingjie's body. Talk about the twist. His explanation was that the eight-footed ghost was a master at swallowing souls, and someone like Rui, with her pure spirit, was the perfect. But asking Rui to give up Yingjie was basically impossible. She pivoted and continued searching for the evil spirit in the well. In the end, she offered to help with revenge in exchange for full assistance. What a brilliant deal. Just like all TV dramas, the next episode waits, creating anticipation. Want more? Subscribe. Don't miss our exciting content.